just realized we should do a show about this, but I've been using my business brain to help on a group of people that want to run for local school board out here. It's a nonpartisan, so it's, it's different people coming together, which is awesome. I love it.
Yep.
But bringing a business focus to this campaign has been really fascinating, and I'm going to come back and revisit it so we can talk about it.
Okay.
All the stuff I've learned over the last few months.
Yeah, I do have an initial sort of gut reaction, knee-jerk question, if you will. And that is, how well received was the business brain approach to local politics by the other people that you're having to collaborate with?
Yeah, so some better than others.
Yeah. I know how it would go here, and that's a kind way to start describing my predictions. Yes, some better than others.
Yeah. But what I found is what I had to do is ask permission. And once I had permission to manage it this way, everything was better, especially as we started bringing in people that were being paid versus volunteers. It reminded me of, as I had an intern at my company that wasn't being paid, I would manage them a little different, or a lot different than an employee that I was paying, and my expectations would be, much different, higher, more productive, maybe.
Yes, sure.
And I found that it's the same with this campaign here, and the way that we everything, the way that we manage buying products, buying services, how you interact with one another. It's all business based, but I think the core thing of it was that I asked permission. My job for a long time, really for the last year, was recruiting. And now that we're done with that recruiting part, which took a long time, and I could describe that process, now I've moved into this other thing, but I asked everybody, if you want me to be the manager of the campaign, this is how I would like to do it. Everybody said yes. Now I can start managing like a business, because it's super effective. Now, ask me after November if we win. I may feel different if it's successful.
Sure.
But at least managing a group of people, managing communication, all that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about politics. I really don't want to know. But I know now that much of the business skills that I've developed over the last 3 decades has come in handy doing this.
Yeah, I've never gotten involved in a local political campaign. I've been on a couple of committees over the years to solve, each committee formed to solve a specific problem. And, I came into this, to both of them, with open mind. It wasn't like I need to go in and drive this in a certain direction. I had my own preferences, but it truly was, an open-minded kind of thing from my standpoint. And it turns out everyone else on the committee's standpoint, which was good. But I think, I'm thinking if I had and I did not run these committees. The committees were run by one of our town council people, right? So it was a bunch of us volunteer participants that are just lay people in the community, and then headed up by the council person. So it wasn't. There was no discussion of who's going to lead. That was already sort of set in stone beforehand. But I definitely needed to not be the taskmaster at these things, which is sort of a natural thing for me, especially if things are going in the wrong direction. And I don't mean wrong direction. I just mean if things aren't productive,
Correct.
Yeah. And there were moments where things weren't productive. Of course, it's a committee of people. And thankfully, the woman, I'm thinking of one specific example, the woman that chaired the committee for us was a very good taskmaster. And so she kept things on track. I think she could tell that I was going to lose it if that I was going to step in if she didn't,
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
But that's totally okay. But your idea, the point I was going to make is this idea of asking permission to lead with not just saying, would you like me to lead, but if you would like me to lead, here's the style I am going to apply if I lead, and being very as transparent as one can be.
Yeah, right.
I mean, obviously there's going to be some things as you get into the nuances of it that you probably couldn't articulate up front and people couldn't predict up front. But having that permission, I really like that idea. That's good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked because, this was the first time I've ever done this.
Yeah.
And I can tell you it's a massive time suck if you let it. And so managing and being efficient is really important. And there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of delegating to do.
Yeah.
And the one thing you can't, if you're worried about being liked, it doesn't work. Now, I'm not a candidate, right? I know that I just won't make a good candidate. I think I could probably be good as a board member, but I'm not the best candidate because I speak out too much, I think, and I have a hard time.
See, I think so. This is interesting because people have tried to convince me to run for our various local councils. We have a school board that's for our cooperative school district, which is 3 towns, and then we have our town council. And people have encouraged me to run for either or both of those at different times. And I think I could run a very successful campaign, but they would hate me once I got on the board.
Oh, well, that's funny because I think mine's the opposite.
That's what's interesting is it's a flip side thing. Yeah.